Hey there, Flora here, and I'm your host of The Human Side of AI. You may have noticed, or I hope you noticed, that I went quiet last week. I was at a major marketing conference in Denver taking notes with you in mind the entire time. This episode is what I brought back for you. So our AI hosts are walking you through the highlights. Come back Friday, though, for our next human episode, and enjoy the show.
You know that feeling when you're trying to build a business or maybe launch a passion project?
Oh, yeah?
Or honestly, just trying to get your ideas heard today. It can feel like you are standing on the edge of a cliff, just screaming into an absolute void.
It really can.
You put your work out there and you hear nothing, just the deafening sound of your own echo.
It is a profoundly isolating experience. I mean, truly. And it's one that almost every creator, founder, or entrepreneur is grappling with right now.
Yeah.
Because you're not just competing with other businesses in your niche anymore. You know, you're competing with every push notification, every unread email, and like the sheer processing power of every algorithmic feed on the planet.
Which is exactly why the mission of today's deep dive is so critical. We're digging into an incredible stack of notes brought back from the Digital Summit Denver, which took place in June of 2026.
Right, the 2026 Summit.
Yeah, and these notes, they come from Flora Mercury. She serves as the Chief Happiness Officer for an AI training community called Club Jam.
And I think the real value in Flora's notes isn't just that she attended these sessions with executives from giants like Nestlé, Meta, Morning Brew.
Right.
It's her lens. Like she went in with the specific goal of translating these massive million-dollar big brand marketing strategies into actionable realities for everyday creators and small businesses.
She basically took the corporate playbook and decoded it for the rest of us.
Exactly.
Just looking at the sheer density of the data she brought back, the vibe feels almost tangible. It's like we've been dropped into the middle of a bustling convention center that somehow merged seamlessly with the flowing digital data matrix.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
Okay, let's unpack this, because to understand how to actually capture someone's attention in that massive digital matrix, we have to zoom way, way in.
Right.
Before we even touch algorithms or AI models, we have to deal with the single most important piece of hardware in any transaction, which is the human brain.
And that hardware has some severe biological limitations, which was actually the focus of the research presented by Mindy Weinstein.
Oh yeah, her session was fascinating.
It really was. The foundation of everything we are discussing today starts with one staggering biological reality. The human brain is forced to make between 20,000 and 30,000 decisions every single day.
Wait, 30,000?
Up to 30,000, yes.
I mean, I'm genuinely exhausted by dinner time just trying to negotiate with myself over what to watch on a streaming service. Like, the cognitive load is immense.
It's immense. And it requires a massive amount of metabolic energy. And this is where most marketing strategies just completely misdiagnose the problem.
How so?
Well, when someone visits your website and doesn't buy your product or, doesn't sign up for your newsletter, we tend to take it personally.
Right. We assume indifference. We think, they just didn't like what I offered.
Exactly. But Weinstein's research points out that a no decision almost always equals overwhelm. It's not rejection, it's cognitive overload.
Wow. So they aren't actively rejecting the offer. Their brain is literally just too full to process one additional variable.
That's it exactly.
The source notes break this down physiologically into two competing systems, right?
Yes, the two systems.
You've got the prefrontal cortex, which is the analytical brain, and that one is slow, deliberate, and burns a ton of energy weighing pros and cons.
Right.
And then you have the amygdala, the reactive brain, which is fast, emotional, and fiercely protective of your attention.
That's the core mechanism. If your marketing or your messaging requires the customer to think too hard, the prefrontal cortex is forced to step in.
And we don't want that.
We really don't. Because that analytical process is so energy intensive, the brain's natural defense mechanism is to simply shut the whole process down to conserve power.
Just, nope, I'm out.
Exactly. You must market to the reactive brain, not the analytical one.
Which totally makes the concept of the overwhelm audit from her session so crucial.
Oh, the overwhelm audit is brilliant.
Right. Weinstein argues that every single click, every extra form field on a checkout page, or every paragraph of dense jargon is a friction point. It is a literal vote against conversion.
It is.
So if we think of a customer's attention like a highly fragile, fast-draining battery.
I like that analogy.
Does a 5-step sign-up form essentially drain that battery to zero before they even have the chance to hit the buy button?
It drains the battery completely, leaving them with absolutely no energy to finalize the transaction.
Wow.
But to build on your analogy, if friction drains the battery, Weinstein points to the science of scarcity as a kind of neurological bypass cable.
Okay, scarcity, like limited time, limited supply.
Right, or a limited edition offering.
Yeah.
fMRI scans show that when people perceive true scarcity, the brain's valuation center physically lights up.
Really?
Physically lights up.
Yeah. It reroutes power away from the draining analytical processes directly to the decision center, essentially filtering out counter-arguments.
I'm struggling with that a bit, though, to be honest.
What part?
Is scarcity really a neurological bypass, or is it just a cheap sales trick? I mean, we've all been on those landing pages with the giant red countdown timers that miraculously reset the moment you refresh your browser.
Oh, it feels sleazy.
It definitely can be. And it's vital to understand the difference between the two, because the brain certainly does.
Huh?
Fake scarcity is manipulative. When the analytical brain eventually catches the discrepancy, like noticing that resetting timer, it triggers a threat response in the amygdala.
Oh, so it backfires.
Big time. It destroys trust instantly. But true scarcity, like a genuine enrollment cap or a hard deadline for a live event, that operates differently.
That's so.
It actually gives the overwhelmed brain permission to act. It removes the exhausting burden of endless open-ended deliberation.
That makes sense. But assuming we don't want to rely on deadlines for every single thing we do, how else do we bypass that slow analytical processor?
The ultimate neurological shortcut, without relying on scarcity, is storytelling.
Storytelling.
Yeah. A narrative bypasses the critical friction of the prefrontal cortex and speaks directly to the emotional reactive brain. It is the fastest way to build trust without burning through the customer's cognitive battery.
Okay, so if the brain is already operating at maximum capacity and we know we need to bypass the analytical roadblocks, how do we actually program that reflex?
That's the million-dollar question.
Right, because the goal isn't just to be remembered when someone sees our logo. We want to become an involuntary reflex.
Which brings us right into the mechanics of the instinct framework.
Oh, yes, from Emma Coolpitz.
Exactly. She presented this in a live workshop. And the central thesis here is a major paradigm shift. Memory is the wrong objective.
Wait, really?
Yeah. Instinct is the goal. You are trying to create an involuntary pull. When your ideal customer encounters a specific problem in their life, your solution should appear in their mind without deliberate conscious recall.
That is powerful. The notes mention a major roadblock to getting there, though. It's called the fluency versus comprehension problem.
Yes.
I found this fascinating. Just because we are using the same fluent language doesn't mean we are sharing the same mental image.
Right.
The example given is the word sandwich.
The sandwich analogy is great.
It really is, because if I hear the word sandwich, I might picture, a classic grilled cheese. But you might picture a towering turkey club. We both understand the English word fluently, but our comprehension of the reality is entirely different.
And brands fall into this trap constantly.
Oh, all the time.
They use fluent, industry standard jargon words like synergy, optimization, or full service, and they just assume the customer comprehends the specific value being offered.
But the customer is picturing a turkey club while you're selling a grilled cheese.
Exactly. To bridge that gap and build a true involuntary pull, Pitts introduced 6 specific pillars.
Let's walk through the architecture of those pillars.
Let's do it.
So the first one is the creative thread. It's defined as an I statement. But crucially, it's not what the brand says about itself. It's what the customer is saying to themselves internally.
Like their internal monologue.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, I trust them so I can finally stop worrying about my taxes.
Perfect. And the second pillar builds directly on that internal monologue. It's the common emotion. This is about naming a highly specific feeling your customer is already experiencing, like the creeping dread of an impending deadline. You aren't trying to manufacture a new emotion for them.
You're just validating what's already there.
Exactly. You're validating the one that is currently dominating their reactive brain.
Here's where it gets really interesting.
Yeah.
The third pillar is the moment in time. And this isn't some broad demographic category. It is about describing a hyper-specific, relatable instance.
Right.
During the live workshop, Flora captured this exact example. Quote, "My boss wants this video asset yesterday. I just found out today. I go on vacation tomorrow. I have a sick kid at home, and I'm already behind on my other work."
Notice what that does to the listener's brain.
It makes them feel completely seen. Like, you might think that detailing the sick kid and the vacation distracts from the core message of selling a corporate video service.
But it doesn't.
It doesn't. Those hyper-specific details are the message. It proves unequivocally that you understand the reality of their daily friction.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But once you've captured that intense, relatable moment, what is the actual payoff?
Right.
That's the fourth pillar. The payoff is almost never the physical product or the software subscription.
It's the feeling, isn't it?
Yes. The payoff is the underlying human desire. It's hope, it's relief, it's a sense of pride or safety. You have to clearly identify the ultimate emotional state you are delivering.
And you frame that delivery using the fifth pillar, which is mystery.
Mystery.
Yeah, you don't just dump all your features on the table at once. You introduce strategic tension. You leave just enough unsaid that their brain naturally leans forward, wanting to close the loop.
Which culminates in the final pillar, the bookends.
Oh, I love a good bookend.
Right. This is a classic narrative technique where you introduce a seemingly small, innocuous detail early in your messaging, and then you bring it back at the very end.
Like the example in the notes.
Yeah, exactly. A keynote speaker opening with a personal story about asking someone which way is north, and then tying that exact phrase back into a profound point about corporate leadership in their closing remarks. It creates a deep, satisfying resonance.
It closes the loop for the brain. So if you utilize those 6 pillars, you basically stop asking the prefrontal cortex to memorize your feature list, and you start wiring your brand into their emotional, reactive instincts.
You do. However, and this is a big however, there is a massive external variable we have to address.
Okay, what's that?
You can engineer the perfect psychological experience, and you can craft the most instinctual, emotionally resonant messaging in your industry.
What?
But none of it matters if the machines acting as the gatekeepers don't know who you are.
The gatekeepers. This is where Grant Simmons' session on the AI discovery revolution completely changes the game.
It really does.
Because the very nature of how humans search for information has mutated in 2026.
Mutated is the exact right term. We are rapidly moving away from an internet dominated by keywords, and we are fully entering the era of prompts.
Right. So we all know the difference in behavior now. A keyword search is typing best healthcare video company into a search bar and scrolling through, blue links.
The old way.
Yeah. A prompt is asking an LLM, I need a healthcare video company in Denver that can turn around a project in 2 weeks. Who specifically should I call?
Exactly.
I get the difference in the user experience, but what does that actually change for the creator or the business trying to be found?
It changes the entire metric of success.
Really?
Yeah. The old gold standard was optimizing your website to rank on page 1 of a search engine results page. That's becoming irrelevant.
Irrelevant. Wow.
The new metrics that dictate discovery are mention rate, citation rate, and recommendation position.
And the notes mention tools like SEMrush and Profound are now being used to track this, right?
Yes. Small businesses are now using those tools not to track keyword density, but to track some totally new things.
Like what?
Like, how often is your brand organically mentioned in a generative AI's response? When the AI synthesizes an answer, is your content cited as the foundational source?
Right.
And most importantly, where do you appear when the AI actively recommends a solution to the user?
So what does this all mean?
Right.
Is this shift essentially like moving from looking up a business in the yellow pages where you're just a static name in a broad category to walking up to a hyper-intelligent, highly opinionated hotel concierge and asking them to stake their reputation on a personal recommendation for you?
Oh, the concierge analogy is perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. The AI models are no longer just indexing the internet. They're synthesizing and recommending. To be recommended by that digital concierge, the new rule of search is that you must write for the AI model, not the SRP.
I have to push back on the reality of that, though.
Go for it.
Because writing for a model sounds incredibly dystopian.
I know, it does.
If my goal is to appeal to human emotion using the instinct framework, but I also have to write for a cold calculating algorithm, doesn't my website copy just become robotic and boring?
You think so, but...
I mean, how do you optimize for a concierge without losing your humanity?
What's fascinating here is that the AI models are actually designed to value the exact same trust signals that humans do.
Which are?
Specificity and authority.
Really?
Yes. If your website is filled with vague, clever marketing fluff that sounds nice but doesn't clearly state what you do, the AI will simply ignore you.
Because it can't understand it.
Exactly. It cannot confidently parse ambiguous language. If you want the AI to recommend you, you must directly, clearly, and specifically answer the exact questions your customers are typing into their prompts.
Wow.
You have to leave absolutely zero ambiguity for the algorithm regarding your expertise.
Oh, I see. So specificity is the optimization.
Exactly.
You can still be emotional and relatable, but you cannot be vague about your solutions.
Never.
But let's say you nail that. The AI concierge understands your authority, it recommends you, and a potential customer finally clicks through to your world.
Okay.
How do you hold their attention and prove you're the right choice when their cognitive battery is already draining?
Now we're getting into the retention side.
Right. Which brings us to the sessions from Alex Lieberman and Meredith Howard on Social Strategy 3.0.
Yeah, Alex Lieberman's thesis, which he drew from building the Morning Brew empire, is a fundamental mindset shift.
What's the shift?
You have to stop treating your content like a billboard advertising your product.
Okay,
The content is the product. The value is in the media you are creating.
that makes total sense.
For Morning Brew, the email newsletter is the ultimate top-of-funnel asset because you actually own that relationship.
Yeah.
No algorithm update can suddenly take your email list away from you.
And he is hyper-focused on CAC, right? Customer acquisition cost, as the ultimate North Star metric.
Yes, CAC is everything to it.
Every piece of media you create should be evaluated by a simple math equation. Does this lower the cost of acquiring a new customer?
Precisely.
But driving that initial traffic through social media to get them on an email list has gotten incredibly difficult.
Oh, it's brutal.
Meredith Howard's session basically declared that the old social media playbook from the 2010s, where you built a chronological feed of followers who saw everything you posted, is completely dead.
The follower graph is gone. It's just gone. We're now fully entrenched in the era of AI predictive behavioral modeling. The social algorithms no longer care who a user follows.
They don't.
Not really.
Mm-hmm.
They only care about predicting what piece of content will keep that specific user on the platform for another 3 seconds.
Which means her first strategic principle is kind of a tough pill to swallow for creators.
It is.
You have to create purely for discovery. You have to assume every single person watching your video is a total stranger who has never heard of you and never will again unless you hook them immediately.
And the only way to effectively train a predictive algorithm to find the right strangers is by publishing within 2 to 3 highly specific interest clusters.
Interesting.
Yeah. You can no longer post about your business on Monday, your dog on Tuesday, and your golf swing on Wednesday.
Right, you're confusing the machine.
Exactly. You have to target specific recurring themes. This trains the machine to categorize you, and it trains the audience to know exactly what value to expect.
She also hammered home that we need to stop obsessing over vanity metrics like likes.
Oh, likes are practically useless now.
Because a like doesn't tell the algorithm much anymore. They are hunting for depth signals.
Web signals, yes.
Like, did the user finish the entire video? Did they save the post to a private folder? Did they share it in a direct message?
Right.
Those deep actions prove your content actually held their attention. But honestly, out of all the social strategies in this stack of notes, the one that completely rewired my brain was her comment strategy.
Oh, this is a big one.
Howard argues that comments are no longer just a community building tool. They are a core search engine optimization strategy.
Yes. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, this ties directly back to Grant Simmons and the AI discovery shift.
Oh, how so?
Well, when you leave thoughtful, substantive, keyword-rich comments on other creators' posts within your specific interest clusters, you are generating massive high engagement signals.
Okay, I'm following.
The AI algorithms are starved for deep, authentic human interaction. When you provide it, you prove to the machines that you are an active, authoritative node within that niche.
Wow. So being authentically helpful in someone else's comment section is actually programming the AI to view you as an authority.
Exactly. It's brilliant.
But there is a massive warning label attached to using AI for your own content creation, right?
Very much so.
Howard introduced the rule of AI. Use the machines heavily on the back end for repurposing transcripts, organizing content calendars, analyzing trends, but you must keep a human voice on the front end.
It's non-negotiable.
The data from the summit showed that 30% of consumers immediately trust a brand less when the content feels automated or generated.
It's a vital boundary. In a landscape flooded with synthetic media, undeniable human connection becomes a premium commodity. And speaking of data realities, we should probably touch on this shift in email metrics.
Yes, the open rates.
Howard noted that tracking open rates on your newsletters is essentially a dead practice.
Completely.
Due to systemic changes like Apple Mail privacy protection, those numbers are artificially inflated and corrupted.
So what do we track instead?
You have to measure the depth signals there too. Specifically, completed calls to action. Did they actually click the link and take the step you asked them to take?
It all comes down to stripping away the illusions, ignoring the vanity metrics, and looking at the actual human behavior.
Exactly.
So if we synthesize this entire journey for the listener, it starts by respecting the biological limits of the brain. You have to strip away the friction to appease the exhausted, reactive amygdala.
Right.
Then you utilize the instinct framework to build an involuntary pull, anchoring your brand to specific, relatable moments in their lives.
And from there, you adapt to the mutation of search. You write highly specific, unambiguous answers for AI prompts to ensure the digital concierges recognize your authority.
Right.
And finally, you treat your content as a valuable product in its own right, optimizing for deep behavioral signals within specific interest clusters rather than chasing fleeting algorithms.
It's a massive paradigm shift for anyone trying to get noticed today.
Huge.
But as we look at this entire stack of conference notes, what do you see as the ultimate grounding takeaway from all these complex metrics?
I think the most grounding truth comes back to the relationship between lifetime customer value and customer acquisition cost.
Okay, LTV and CAC.
Right. When economic budgets shrink, when social algorithms become chaotic, and when search engines mutate into AI chatbots, the fundamental math of business tells the exact same story it always has.
Which is?
Keeping an existing customer is dramatically cheaper than fighting to acquire a new one.
Wow, yeah.
All of these advanced strategies, the neurological storytelling, the own newsletter audiences, the behavioral depth signals, they all point toward a single reality. Memory, trust, and instinct are your real currency.
That's powerful.
Building a lasting, frictionless relationship with a human being remains the most cost-effective business strategy in existence.
Which leaves me with a completely different and maybe a slightly provocative thought to leave the listener with.
Oh, I like provocative. Let's hear it.
We've spent this whole time talking about how to optimize our message so the AI algorithms will recommend us to human consumers.
Right.
We are treating AI as the ultimate middleman. But if these AI assistants are getting smarter, more predictive, and more autonomous, maybe the future of marketing isn't about reaching the human consumer at all.
Wait, what do you mean?
Well, what happens in a few years when our target audience delegates their purchasing decisions entirely to their personal AI assistant?
Oh, wow.
How do you optimize your storytelling when your AI is trying to negotiate a sale with my AI?
That is an entirely different kind of cognitive bypass. I mean, how do you persuade a machine that doesn't have an amygdala to feel an instinctual pull?
Exactly. It's something to think about the next time you feel like you're shouting into the void. Maybe the void is listening. It just doesn't have a heartbeat yet.